Welcome everyone. I'm here with my friend Jolynn, and we want to do a quick flow for those of you who don't have a lot of time but are feeling super tight in your hips. So a lot of people love pigeon, and I got a lot of requests for that. But the thing about pigeon is you want to be well warmed up for pigeon. So we're going to do our best to give you a real quick movement-oriented flow that'll help you get into pigeon and get some of that hip tension out of the way. And Jolynn also loves pigeon, so that's one of the reasons we're doing that. So we're going to first start in a kneeling seated pose. So Jolynn's going to take time. Go ahead and make sure that you have blocks available, especially if you have any physical tension. If you're super flexible, that's another conversation. You can use a block underneath your hips if you like. I know you like to have that. Yeah. So you'll notice that she's going to take, she's going to use it for that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you can either do a nice comfortable seated pose and take a moment to just get your breath. It's okay, you can bring them out when you're ready for that. So getting nice and comfortable. If you feel a lot of stretch there, make sure you definitely have elevation in your hips. And you'll find that full yogic breath. We still want to be connected to breath even as we're doing a quick practice here. And then just start to begin a little cat-cow flow with the spine. So as you inhale, you'll feel the spine come forward. And as you exhale, focus mostly on tucking the pelvis. So you're getting that stretch across the quadriceps, across the front of the body here. Just that little movement back and forth. You can go as deep or as shallow as you like. And after about 5 or so of those, then I'm going to have you take your hands behind you to open up the front of the hips a little. So Jolynn's going to use blocks. This is perfect demonstration. Using blocks to come back to get a nice stretch across the quadriceps and a little bit of pulsing upright. Just about 2 or 3 breaths there, Joe. Yeah, so you can see the hands there. And then we'll ease on out, and she'll bring her blocks forward in front of the mat so that they're there when she needs it, and come into tabletop pose. So let's bring those all the way off the mat there. Yeah. And then just take some cat-cow, loosening up a little bit. Just a couple of moments, and then I'm going to have her take her knees nice and wide to the edges maybe of the blanket, and I'm going to have her do some big hip circles. So I'm going to complete one circle and then reverse the direction, and you want to feel that sense of loosening up in the pelvis. And you'll take about 5 or so breaths, really trying to get tension relieved. You'll know if you're ready for pigeon or not when we get to that point. And then take a nice wide-kneed child's pose, sinking way back, letting the belly hang between the thighs, and you're going to get a good stretch on the hip joint and also the inner thigh. Just take a few breaths as if you're pulling that breath way down into the pelvis. With the mindful attention of doing that, you're actually directing prana down into those tight spaces. We really want a lot of energy and sense of movement into those tissues. Take one more breath there. Nice. And then we'll come back up into tabletop, squaring off, knees under hips. And we'll start with the left leg. And I'm going to have her bring the sole of her left foot up towards the sky, squeezing. So you're going to activate the hamstring and the inner thighs. And let's draw big circles. 2 big circles in one direction with the kneecap, and then 2 big circles in the other direction. Maybe do 2 more, just whatever direction feels best for you. And once you've got that, what we're going to do is take that knee, that left knee, behind the right knee or right calf. So you'll notice that Joe's placement here is right by her heel. That's fine. And then you'll sink back a little bit. And when you do this pose, what you're already doing, it's almost a primer for pigeon pose, is that it's stretching gently some of this tissue around the sacrum. And this is the clue that whether or not pigeon is going to be a delicious choice for you today. So if you come into here and you feel a gentle stretch and it just feels really rewarding, but it's not painful, that is the good thing. That's what you want. Nice, gentle stretch. Good. Last exhale, and we stay a little bit longer in this just to get the body in position, kind of creating a memory footprint so we can come back here. Then we'll come back out and come into table. Take wide knees again and do some nice big hip circles. So whenever we do something really asymmetrical, like a deep pigeon pose, you always want to balance with symmetrical movement. So that's what we're trying to do right now. And then come back up into that table, and we'll take that right knee up now, and go in nice big circles. So you're activating flexed foot, so you feel lots of energy and strength through the tissues. It creates stability for the joints and the muscles. When you feel balanced on this side, take that right knee behind the left knee and sink back. And you'll have a little bit better view here. You can see kind of this nice spatial stretch here across the sacrum. And you relax neck and shoulders so you're not holding unwittingly. And you're directing all of your awareness, all of that breath energy, the prana, down into the sacrum. And again, you obviously, especially for you Western med people, you obviously cannot breathe in your sacrum, but that mindful attention of awareness to release the tissues and drawing that energetic freedom down into your pelvis is really powerful. And you'll take another breath there. Nice. Do you feel balanced? If you feel balanced, go ahead and come on out, back into table. We're going to take a down dog. So if you can't do down dog, you can do down puppy, which stretches the arms out in this way and the knees are down. I'm going to have her take about 3 or 4 breaths in whichever pose feels right for her. So you're stretching, a little bit of effort. Even as if your knees are down, you're still efforting through the root, through the legs. Good work. And then if you're in down dog, you can either step that right foot forward or from kneeling, just coming upright and stepping that right foot forward. So we're going to do the right foot first. So we're going to come into a lunge position, and this is a grounded, focused lunge. So bringing the hands on either side of the foot with the blocks. And we're just going to work on stretching. So we're doing 2 stretches here. So our hips are going to slowly ease forward. You're going to get a stretch across the front of this left hip, but also across the back of that right hip. Round into the butt tissue. You feel a nice stretch there, and that's the first layer of prepping for the pigeon pose. So from this pose, we're going to do something that I didn't tell you about before. But what we're going to do is I'm going to have you relax that knee out to the side. So bring that right hand to the inside and just relax it and see how that feels. So if the knee's going to come out to the right side a little, and you might even roll over onto the side of the right foot, this might be as far as you want to go for your pigeon experience, especially if you're feeling super tight. But if you feel like, no, I get a gentle stretch, but I want to go for a deeper stretch, now is when we're going to walk that right foot into pigeon. So you'll see Jolynn is going to move the blocks out of the way and walk her foot across the mat towards the left side. And you'll see that her foot is it's actually pretty deep pigeon. Jolynn loves pigeons, so it's pretty deep. So what I want to point out here is that her foot you can bring it all the way down to this left heel, it's in the middle, or you can bring it parallel to the front of the mat, and that her left leg is extended. You'll notice her pelvis is facing forward. That's really important. All of this symmetry is a really important attribute, and then you can descend down as you like. Jolynn uses the blocks to create space and support for her upper body to let go, and now she can draw all of her awareness down into the sacrum and into the hip joint. Now, all the while, she has a little bit of energy shooting out that left foot. So you don't completely let go muscularly. What can happen then is that you actually destabilize the joint. We want integrity in those muscles without aggression. You just want that joint stability and a little bit of effort balanced with ease. So taking, 5 to 7 breaths, 5 to 10 breaths, whatever feels right for you in this amount of time. And then we'll do you want to stay forever? Then we'll bring our hands under the shoulders and come back into down dog or into table and do cat-cow. So this is that resetting posture. So she can do a little cat-cow. She can reset both legs and hips symmetrical. And then she could even drop the knees and take some hip circles and even sink back into child's pose. I'm just going to let her choose what feels right for the body. And you need time to find that symmetrical balance again. Pigeon in particular is a very asymmetrical pose. If you push too hard into it, you can actually cause some problems. So we just want to take care in this very short period of time. Okay. So let's go ahead and take the left foot forward. You're going to be able to see a little better on this side with that left foot forward. First, starting with a nice deep lunge. So you'll notice that this back knee is behind the hips and she's getting a big stretch across the front, Can I touch your butt? Okay, so you're going to feel this nice big stretch across the back here. That's the first layer of muscles that we're getting into that hip, into the pigeon stretch. Okay, and then we'll do that priming pigeon. So she's going to let the knee relax out a little bit and feel that sensation. Again, if that's just how far you want to go, that might be it. This is also, it's not nothing. There's definitely some stretch happening. So if you want to stay here, you're welcome to, or you can walk that left foot across the front of the mat into pigeon pose. So you'll see her foot come around and drop the knee down, and then her pelvis will focus forward. That's really important. That right leg shoots back with energy and integrity, and this is more of the upright pigeon. So if you're feeling like you're trying to start your day and bring energy, you can, but there's always something incredibly delicious about giving it up, right? Just letting the upper body go and then still maintaining that sense of awareness in the bottom. All the while, the breath continues to flow deeply and nourishingly. Is nourishingly a word? It is today. Yeah, nice deep breath. One more. And so you sense when you feel balanced on this second side. And so I'm going to have you come out, and find tabletop. So you can take down dog again if you like, or you can do tabletop, do a little cat-cow, do a little hip circles. And we're just going to do a couple of, this is one of the counter poses. We're going to do one more pose just to make sure that when you leave, your pelvis feels balanced. So we're going to have a seat facing the front. So go ahead and have a seat on your blanket, just whatever that looks like for you. And the legs are going to come wide out on the mat. And we're just doing this just as a way to reset. So you want to keep the knees and toes pointing to the sky. Inhale, reach those arms up. And then as you exhale, lean forward. When you feel resistance, drop the hands and breathe. Now, you can find stillness here, or you can walk the hands gently side to side. Relax your shoulders a little bit. Thank you. Yeah. Do you feel a nice stretch there through the legs and the sacrum and everything? Yeah, this is a really nice reset pose. We're going to do one more just because we can. So rise on up a little bit. We're going to take the soles of the feet together into cobbler. Yeah. And then we'll do that same forward bending. You'll notice that both of these poses are symmetrical presentations of the root. So we're resetting, even though there's still some hip opening, we're resetting everything back into their proper places. And take one more breath here. And rise on up. All right, so for the purpose of this very quick pigeon flow, you should be good and balanced. If you'd like to take a few extra minutes, you can. How do you feel?
I feel great.
You feel great. I feel great. Yes. So how many minutes was that? Oh, you don't have to turn off.
13.
13 minutes. 13-minute pigeon flow. There you go.
Nice.
All right. Have a great day. Namaste.